Hey, we're live.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We're live.
Again?
I clicked the button.
Why does
Sorry.
this, like, listen, every other Friday I get together with you and then you're like, all, like, you know, doing everything, don't say, and then also, ooh, we're live, like, what?
Pay attention to your damn screen.
I'm streaming this right now.
Yeah, I see you.
Oh,
I
there's
see
me.
You
There's
always
you.
you always click the button first, and then you tell us. Oh, by the way, the stupid
See,
shit you
at
just
least-
said.
at least-
Everybody
yeah, at
heard
least
it.
Brian's
But it's
on
more
board with
fun
me.
to trap you guys because you don't realize you're live, and then I can click the button and be like, "Ha ha! I caught you."
It's like some
And that's how we go to
candid
jail.
camera kinda shit.
Remember, this shit ain't memories; it's evidence.
So anyway, hello!
Welcome
What's up,
to
guys?
Pints and Pistons.
We're Pints and Pistons, and tonight we have a special guest,
Old
Mike,
school
Mike, from Old School's Garage, which if you've been in our streams in the past, you've seen him
Comment
talking with us all the time.
time.
And he has also got a lot of awesome stuff going on, which we're going to talk about. And
Beer.
And yeah,
beer.
let's go ahead and
Yes.
fire off with a beer.
Yeah, and I got read a couple of interesting little car selling stories that I found amusing. That I'm
And
gonna share with you
and
guys.
I have a couple interesting things I've seen in the news in the latelys and this and things.
So yeah, we're gonna do the whole drink beer talk cars thing.
By the
Sounds
way,
good.
the car rally though, have you been following that?
I've seen little snippets here and there, but
Fucking Sebastian Loeb getting flat tires, taking rest breaks, still dominating.
okay, wait a minute.
Like,
Okay, here's the thing: when Sebastian Loeb was driving for Citroen in World Rally Championship, Citroen wasn't running a full year program. So it was like certain events, the Citroens would pop up, and oh my god, huge fan of Colin McRae. The guy was awesome. But watching Loeb drive a World Rally spec Citroen, holy shit!
like one stage he had taken a 15-minute rest break. Then the car wouldn't start. Then they had to call up because they're in the middle of the desert and there's nothing you could do. Call up a tech and be like, "Yo, what's going on?" Half an hour, get the car started. Still had a 3-minute gap on everybody. Like, it's ridiculous.
Watching, and like I said, I mean, watching on gravel stages and sand stages, but my favorite was to watch him on tarmac stages.
Oh man, the way it's weird watching him drive cars because it looks like they move around him. Like he stays in the center and I don't
He
know.
is the center of gravity for where the cars move. It's amazing
kinda
to
weird
watch.
to watch. I've seen him whip around cars through corners. It just like it looks strange. Like the pivotal point, he's center, and the car is going around curves like this around him.
It's like watching that old video of the E30 rally car that I like.
Yeah.
That I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Is it
Watching the dude,
the white,
the white
one?
red.
Yeah, the white. Yes.
The hill climb car where the guy just rips it through the streets up in Lebanon and all that kind of stuff.
No, this one.
You haven't seen that one?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh.
This one's from Rally, and
Yeah.
watching this guy
Oh,
drive
okay.
is watching automotive
Okay.
masterful control. Oh yeah. All right, Brian, run us in on this one.
All right, so I picked this up at Total Wine and Beer up in Gainesville a couple weeks back, and this is from Copper Point Brewing Company, somewhere in South Florida, and this one is called Witness, Belgian-style wit beer with coriander and Florida orange peel.
I'm Italian, so Italians don't like witnesses. So.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said that, all I thought about was, "Can I get a witness?"
This sweet beer with fresh cracked coriander and real Florida orange peel will make you ask, "Can I get a witness?"
I didn't even read it. Come on, man. I'm on point tonight.
Whoa, what's going on there? That's a lot.
Oh, that's coriander like crazy.
Is that?
That's coriander like crazy.
I like it. It's
Holy crap, Mike did an actual normal pour.
I did. I know for once, in like the first time in like three episodes.
Not trying to be mean to Mike, but I think this is actually a pretty easy beer to pour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hard poured it and it didn't.
Wow.
It didn't foam up a lot.
But yeah, no,
That smells
that's
good,
full
though.
on. That's full on
very
coriander
pretty
there.
looking.
All right.
It's got floaties, right? It looks like it.
saw-
I don't think it's got.
I don't know if
I
it's
saw a
floaties.
little
It's
bit of
bubblies.
floaties to it.
Oh,
I think
it's
it's
just
bubbly.
I think it's just bubbly sticking to the inside of the glass.
No, okay.
All right. Well, without further ado, Mike, welcome. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Friday, guys.
Yep.
Get in there, Mike.
Happy
You missed me. Don't leave me hanging, buddy.
Happy Friday.
Geostorm.
No, it was a mini.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad.
I thought the coriander was gonna be a lot more overpowering than that.
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
happy
but it's
not.
there. But it's there.
I'm just
but
happy
it's
it's
not.
But
Ooh, it almost has a spice to it.
It's there with the orange peel for sure.
It almost
Orange
has a
peel
little
and
bit of
the
a spice.
clove spice to it.
What's
Yeah.
the end? Hold on.
I think that's just the coriander mingling with the orange and going, hell yeah,
I
brother.
think that is. But it's like
But it creates like almost a different.
almost like a black pepper.
Yeah,
Like,
almost like a black
on the back
pepper.
of your
Yeah.
throat, not like on the tip of your tongue, but
On
in
the back, yeah.
But also, too, I mean, this
I like
is
that.
this is a wit, so,
pretty good.
you know, as
Yeah.
all wheat beers, it's 51%
True.
or more wheat as the
Wheat.
grain,
Yeah.
so...
That's a good reaction.
That-
that's
that's a good
good.
one.
I
It
like
is.
this.
I like
That's
it.
is.
fantastic. That's,
You know what? I kind of wish we were in the middle of summer, because this was an awesome summer beer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
It just says South Florida though. Like doesn't give me like.
Well, it's,
Well,
it's
I'm sure
Copper
they're-
Point.
It's Copper Point.
Have we had them before?
we've had.
Yes,
had-
we have.
Oh, Boynton Beach.
Yeah, Boynton Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boynton Beach, Florida.
I
pretty
feel like
awesome.
we've had something else from them that was really good too.
We have had something from Copper Point before, but not this one.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that.
We keep a list. We keep a Google Docs list that we can all. And
Now we're over 200. We're at I think
Yeah.
about like 205 or something like that about
our
now.
list is good. So anyway, now it's like when we go to ABC or we go to Total Wine or
Right.
wherever we go and we start looking for beer. It's like before you even walk into the building, bring
Pull
up the
it
beer list.
because otherwise it won't open inside the store.
Metal
Nice,
buildings,
nice,
you know,
yeah.
metal buildings like a Faraday cage. So it's like bring up the beer list, and like I'll go to Total Wine and Beer when I'm up in Gainesville or any place else. Walls of beer, and I'll be going, that one looks pretty good, and
Nope,
we've
had
had
it.
that one. That one might also look pretty good.
Nope, we've had
Never
it.
mind.
We've had it.
It's getting more difficult to find
Right,
something
right.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have to go straight over to the new section.
Yep.
And try and find something that's just released. Otherwise, we've probably had it.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I can always find.
But I'm
shit,
okay
I
with
can
it,
find
though.
shit tons of cat piss IPAs, but I'm not.
And see, that's the thing. It's one of those. If we
I
want to
figure
make
if it's
Dan
gonna-
happy.
Yeah, I figure if it's gonna be an IPA, it's gonna be him that brings it.
Yeah. Remember those mystery ones that sat in my fridge for about 4 weeks? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That last
Remember the one
episode.
we had to throw out?
Yes.
Which one?
have
that
we-
he
wait a
brought?
minute.
I mean,
Because he's
hold
brought
on,
many
hold on.
that we've had to throw out.
Hold on, wait a second. So there was the
Organic piss.
organic ultra that we poured out.
Literally took a
went,
sip, went,
nope, and poured out. There was the Florida Avenue hibiscus garbage
which he brought twice.
that we just poured out. But I
Twice.
think that
No,
was
hold on. Stop for a second. In his defense, he did not bring the Florida Avenue hibiscus twice. He brought it once, and then I brought it once.
that's
Oh.
true.
But still. So, okay.
But then
well,
actually, I do think that your mystery stuff, that was the first time that we did two, and just immediately poured the shit
both
out.
of them. Instantly out.
I know you guys did one. He just threw it right out.
Yeah,
the
no,
back.
I
Yeah.
took a sip
Bad.
just like it was one.
We all went, oh no.
Yeah.
Throw.
I wish I didn't pour it into a glass because I would have just gone, yeah, can everything, just fuck it.
No, it was a
out.
fucking waste of a glass wash.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
seriously.
No.
That was the thing. It just
bad.
wasted the glass.
When even Dan is like, yeah, this one is like,
yeah,
no.
I'll drink anything, you know, and yeah, no.
Yeah, when Dan's like, no, this is bad, you understand why we went, yeah.
Yeah.
no.
What I thought was funny was there was the one where all of you guys were like, oh god, no, this one's terrible. And I was sitting there going,
It's actually
Oh yeah,
good.
Chris
This
is like, dude, this is good. What are you talking about?
this is not bad. This is
down
pretty
in it.
tasty.
yeah. So before we,
Rick McMillan, hey Mike, looking like a TV star, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Canada.
He's all the way up in
Hi, Rick.
Windsor, Ontario. Ontario,
hey,
Canada.
everybody loves
Oh.
Windsor.
Oh, so he's got icicles hanging off his poles right now.
Pretty much, right?
And we're over here in short
Sorry.
sleeves.
Welcome to
Sorry
We're
about
Florida.
over here going, it's like 75. It's kind of chilly out
Yeah.
today.
Right.
No, listen, driving here, I had to. I was wearing a jacket.
Right.
It was chilly.
I had the
right?
windows down with my seat heater on.
I don't have a seat.
I do.
I wish I had.
wish
I don't have heat. I was just driving with the windows down.
It's perfect.
I had the windows down.
It also
In
helps
shorts
the
and
back.
flip-flop.
It also helps the back too. Like
And
that,
a
that's
single-
that's the
single
reason
flip-flop.
why I use it though.
Yeah,
is
it's single
it helps the
flip-flop.
back.
Single flip flop.
A flip flop.
Yeah. Well, if he had two,
A flip.
it'd be stupid.
Now notice with leather seats, I did use the seat heater in my dually
Uh-huh.
a couple of times,
That's
only because it
fair.
has leather seats.
And it's cold
But-
as hell. You put your ass
Right.
on, you're like,
But now my wife's car, she has cloth seats in her car, in her Outlander, and you don't need to use it
no, yeah.
because it doesn't hold
Yeah.
the cold.
Yeah.
Now,
see,
does she have the ventilated ones though?
Mm-mm.
See,
No.
that's what I wish my car had.
The dually has the ventilated.
Oh, like that. It's
I
one
love
of those.
those.
My car
summer.
has these weird bastard half leather, half cloth seats.
Oh yeah,
Right.
And
yours,
yeah.
yours is weird.
Yeah, like my wife's car, which is my other car, that one's got leather, but it's got heated seats and it works. But my car doesn't have heated seats, and then your ass cheeks get cold,
Yeah, yeah.
like just the sides of them.
Oh no, I absolutely love my heated seats because whether it's hot or cold, I'll use, and mine goes like
See,
1 through 5.
your
It's
seats
not
like
to-
awkwardly squeeze my
but
butt.
it's not like a regular push button that just it's on or off. Like there's a
His,
level
his
setting.
his has levels.
Levels.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, even during the summer, putting it on like 2 and that after a 10-hour day at work really helps the back. It really does.
I'd be sweating.
The
Oh
next
no,
car
that's
I
why you
buy,
have the AC going like crazy, but it really does.
I've already said the next car I buy will have a heated steering wheel because there is nothing better than heat on my knuckles after a long day of working on cars. Like you, you just wrap your hands around it. It's just like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, then you go, and you just melt down, and then the light pole comes really
Yeah.
quick.
don't care. My hands don't hurt.
Not anymore, they don't.
Says what? That's too hot there. No, it's too cold right now.
No, these guys
It's-
are idiots. It's
It's
perfect.
like 70 degrees. It's too cold.
Right now, it is actually beautiful.
Well, wait a
It's
second. Hold
booth
on a
season
second.
still, so.
How many OG Florida men are sitting at the table right now?
I was gonna say born and raised in Florida, so
So yeah, there's 3 of us, and
Yeah.
you're the one that's complaining. You Yankee, you're the one that's
I'm
complaining.
from the
I'm-
frigid north, and I'm going. "It's too
I'm
cold."
from the southest of the Floridas,
you're from Cuba.
so I am. Like,
Okay, so see, here's my
Also
observation.
Miami.
So here's my observation of the whole, you frigid northerns coming down here. The first winter you guys come down here, anytime we throw on long sleeves or any kind of long pants, you go and you laugh at us.
Yes.
And my response is, talk
Just
to me
wait
next
a
year.
Yep.
Yes.
Talk to
Because
me next
Brett
year.
did the same damn thing.
Talk
It
to
took
me.
about 3 years for me to climatize.
Yes.
Talk to
The
me.
first 3 years, I was fine. I'd be walking around in 60 degrees in my shorts and my flip flops, going, "Yeah, buddy." And then after 3 years, it got down to 70, and I was like,
What the hell?
"Man,
Yeah.
it's cold."
Yeah.
Well, I've been here 30 years, and the only time it really gets me is when it actually does get into like the 30s.
Yeah.
So other than that,
Well,
I'm
and trying to
okay.
explain
Yeah,
to people,
well, that's also
it's not
that's
a
another
dry
thing too.
cold.
Us OG Florida men, we're smart enough to keep our ass in a warm house when it gets to 30.
Yeah, but it's one of those is like people don't realize it's not a like even though with snow and all that, it's more of a drier cold where we still
yeah.
it'll
We-
be 30
we
degrees
still
with
have
100%
90% humidity.
humidity.
Right,
oh
right.
yeah. When I was up in like Maine, almost in Canada, and it was like negative something outside, I was able just to wear a hoodie and pants,
Yeah.
and I was comfortable, and it wasn't like just moist pain.
Yeah, it's one of those when you walk outside and it's instantly just like,
The air hurts my face. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
and then we get to summertime and it's the same. The air hurts my face. I don't like it.
Yeah, but that's because you're swimming through it as you walk out the door.
Yeah.
Hey, it was like that on them snowmobiles though, man. When you were
Ooh,
doing
I
like
can
60
imagine.
miles an hour, we like rode like 3 hours straight, and all the air that got in the gaps of the helmet. Oh man, it was like.
I can
it was
I can
painful.
imagine. I
It,
can
it
imagine.
burned. It did. It burned.
Oh, it could be like 65, and I'd be ripping the ATV around the neighborhood, which one leg I got an ATV was pretty funny. And I'll be in the sunshine, and it's like, yeah, 60, cool, awesome. And then I go to sleep, and I'm like, God damn, it just got cold.
I'm on the bike.
But again, I'm also riding around in shorts, t-shirt, and a flip-flop because
What
Florida.
blows my mind is on the bike when you like go into a little valley in the
Uh-huh.
road.
And you feel that
And you
cold.
feel
And
it.
the cold, like, just
Oh, I
slams
did when I got the
into
windows
you.
down in
And
my
you're
car.
just like,
Especially
God,
right here though, right where
Yeah,
where it
yeah, all
flips
the
down.
hills,
Oh my
yep.
God, you hit.
Oh, that's like just going to my house. When you hit the bottom of the hill,
you're like
just before the
"Whoa!"
tree line.
That
Normally,
came
the,
out of
normally the
nowhere.
temperature on the car, you'll watch it drop 2 or 3 degrees.
Oh yeah, but like I
Just
said,
from
I
that.
mean, you go, if it's like 75 or 70
Yeah.
or 68, still sometimes ride with the windows down. Like I'll go down my road, I'll get down to the bottom
And
of the
you'll
hill and be
feel it.
like, damn, just got cold.
Yep.
And pop out the other side. I'm like, oh, there we are.
Yeah.
We're good.
Well, before we get into Mike's stuff, some car news. New vet thingamajig.
The E-Ray.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Luckily, it's not a full electric thingamajig. It's
Now they
gonna be
basically
a
just
Just
added-
when
they
they're hybrids.
They added a small battery pack in the tunnel between the seats, and then they threw a motor and differential in the front.
and 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah,
2.5.
It's an electric eel Stingray combination.
Like,
So what is it? 45 miles, up to 45 miles an hour. You're on the electric motor. So you got essentially got a front wheel drive Corvette.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everything kicks on.
Yeah.
and then you're going.
And
But,
they said-
but
and
I gotta
it's
say,
It's also
faster
the same
than
flat
that.
plane crank as in the Z06. So
yeah, which is
nice. At
glorious.
least they didn't like.
No, it's not
but,
nice.
like,
It
put a-
is glorious.
Yeah, it's like,
it really
at
is.
least they didn't like do like, oh, here's a 4.8 hybrid,
Yeah.
like or something like that. They
like
kept the
out
same
of
motor.
the trucks.
But I guess they propose that they're going to be doing a full EV one
Yeah.
as well. They just haven't released any more
Yeah.
stuff on yet.
But hey, 2.5, fucking 0 to 60.
That's ripping.
Good shit, Chevy. Like, good shit.
that's
Like,
right.
I'm happy.
ripping.
I still
10-second
respect
quarter, too.
what Chevy did with the Corvette. They made a
SUV?
Ferrari for $60K.
If you could find one for $60K.
well, no, MSRP is 60K, but
You'll
you're
never
spending
see one for that.
160K because of a $100,000 markup. From
and
the
I
dealer.
understand that, but that's
And-
just the
and
dealer's
Just wait till it
fee.
hits the used car market.
Well, I think they said the E-Ray was supposed
Speaking
to
of-
start at like 104.
Yeah.
That's for the hardtop, and I think it was like 130 or 40 for the
Convertible.
convertible.
You'll be paying $160 for a hardtop easy.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
all the fucking
So,
markups that are
so
going on.
speaking of used
Bless you.
used car market,
Bless you.
I saw 2 stories this week about used cars that amused the absolute shit out of me.
Tesla?
No,
Oh.
one was a guy tried to flip his GR Corolla
I saw that.
Oh.
that he paid a market adjustment for. Went on Cars and Bids. He lost money,
Good
a
for him.
significant sum of money.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Did not say how much he lost, but he
But he lost
lost.
money.
He lost quote thousands end quote.
The one I read, he said they lost around $4,500.
And then the other one that I just saw today was somebody bought a Civic Type R,
New one?
paid market adjustment, a new one, paid
That
market
one I
adjustment,
did see.
paid market adjustment for, didn't drive it. It had 154 miles on it. Tried to put it on Cars and Bids. It did not meet its reserve.
Correct.
Oh.
Yep. I
Oh.
saw that one. Oh, also,
Thank you, people, for actually getting smarter.
Right?
Thank you for that.
side note thing, completely. I wanted to talk about last time, forgot. Our Elantra N guy in California. There's an update.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yes. Okay.
On the exhaust violation.
Yes. So Hyundai now has his car, has had his car, and has stated yet again there's nothing wrong with it.
It's literally factory spec.
State referee says, fuck you, still no drive car. Hyundai says, sorry, for all your inconveniences, we're going to give you a $500 Visa gift card.
What?
And he still doesn't have his car.
Wow.
Jesus.
And he still doesn't have his car.
Fuck that.
Don't live in California. Again.
No.
Again, don't live in California.
At that, I mean, honestly, if I was this guy at that point, aside from figuring out what I have to do and where I can get a job so I can move the fuck out of California, the second thing I'm going to do is stop making that car payment.
And then also hire a fucking lawyer.
He should have hired a lawyer from the get-go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest shit.
And then our other thing, Mazda doing stuff, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Mazda's got a couple interesting things going
Well,
on right now.
I don't necessarily want to touch too much on the rotary hybrid. I'm still figuring that out for my own mental state. But the
It ain't
new-
a bad-looking vehicle.
It's not.
Oh hell no, it's not. Their styling's on point. It's fantastic. It's just there's a lot of things about that car that I don't think are appropriated correctly. But so that's. But anyway, the CX-90 is going to be coming out. They moved up from the CX-5 and 3 to the 30, and we're
Yeah.
going up 10s and 3s and numbers and bullshit like we always do. And the CX-90, however, is going to get the new debut engine that we've all seen patents for being leaked out over the
For
years.
years.
The turbo inline 6 with 350 horsepower. If they do not implement that into a sports type of vehicle, I will be so
I
sad.
did see, I think it was on either Jalopnik or The Drive, and basically it said Mazda really wants to build a 6-cylinder sports car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
need
they
Can you
showed that,
imagine that
and
in
they,
a
and they
car?
showed that
Right.
concept drawing of that long lean.
the
Yeah.
RX Vision or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
But
God,
the
that thing was so
rotary hybrid,
sexy.
though, I think that the utilization is funky for me because the rotary, the engine is just like it's like a generator basically. It's not like a not like a hybrid necessarily. It's
like the Bolt.
yeah.
It's a range extender. It's a range
extender. It kicks on to charge up, and you keep going off the EV.
But I can see why they're using a rotary, because you get a rotary to a certain RPM, and it's going to be at its absolute max efficiency.
Correct, and there's no point in
But what's the one advantage of a rotary over a piston engine?
Smoothness.
That thing's going to kick on,
and you'll never know.
and you'll never know.
Well,
you if you're trying to do something different than everybody else, that's different than everybody else.
True.
Yeah.
True. That is true. But
And you got to give Mazda that.
I can't
You
wait to
have
see that
give them that.
CX-90 though. I really can't because I love the new body styling they've been doing, and also that engine. I really hope it gets implemented in something else. Sounds like a fantastic platform.
If Mazda doesn't put that into a sports car,
Somebody
will put one of those into a sports car.
Can you imagine that in like a Miata?
No,
Miata's
the
nose
wrong car for that.
Miata's,
Yeah,
you'd
that
have
is
to
the wrong
stretch.
car
You'd have to
for
stretch
that.
the
Really?
nose of it.
Yeah, it'd be too front heavy. I would be just a wonkily monster.
It's not about the front heavy; it's about fitment.
Yeah, it's
You're
about
gonna be able
it's
to
about
fit it
it's
in
about length, and also with the straight. That's the one
You can fit
packaging
an
issue of a
LS in
straight
one.
six is how long they are.
Well, and is
So
that,
trying to get the mass of the engine over and slightly behind the rear axle center line, that's where it becomes a challenge. And then you end up with a car that looks like an S30Z.
True.
well, and
yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
thinking too is like you got Dodge announcing they're doing the Hurricane Inline 6.
Mm-hmm.
Are we about to enter a modern battle of the straight sixes?
I would absolutely
hope so.
love that. I would
Please?
absolutely
That
love
would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Can we have that?
I mean,
Can
we're
Ford
already
please bring us a modern version of the Barra?
we're already
Right.
in a battle of ice engines, like trying to survive. If they did that,
Hey, but the new Prius is the fastest Prius of all time.
222 horsepower if you get the full top option one.
Well-
0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds, baby.
yeah, but forget about that. It's just one of those. I have to say, the design of it is actually
Good.
Yeah,
It
it's
is a cool
irritating
looking
that
car.
the new Prius looks
looks.
as good.
Yeah,
does look
it
cool.
shouldn't. It shouldn't. But it's.
It does.
How
You
dare
look
you
at
take
it
something
and-
I want to ridicule so badly
And make it
look
good?
It's one of those I ridicule everything else about it, but just the fact that now I can look at it and like not want to throw up in my mouth.
That's an improvement.
That it is,
Yeah.
it is, because now I will see them on the road and I won't be just like, "Huh," I'll be like, I hate that car, but at least it looks good, and it's still, but at least it looks good, and it makes my mind a little bit more happier as I go past it and picture it
And-
doing different sounds.
And I'm assuming y'all seen the all new, brand new, never ever before revealed before R35 GTR.
Yeah, I saw that in 2009.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, when
Me
it
too.
first came out.
I remember that.
I've actually seen one of those driving already.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? Was it
I already have the
2007
full
model?
brochure that folds out into a poster for it.
That's insane.
Yeah, I saw one a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a bit of news. Bad news, gentlemen.
Oh no.
It's not the Dacia Sandero.
I was gonna say.
Ah.
No, because that's
It
always
is.
good news.
Unfortunately, now none of this is confirmed, but I've seen multiple articles about this now that Amazon may be considering dropping the Grand Tour
Yeah.
because of
Oh.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Again.
The Grand Tour and then also
Clarkson's
Clarkson's
farm.
farm and all that. We knew it was going to happen because Clarkson's Clarkson, but
he can't keep himself out of the tabloids.
He
but
can't keep his keyboard shut this time.
Right.
it's Clarkson. I mean, yeah,
And I mean,
we'll find a way to watch him.
all he really did was just talk shit about the royal family. But I mean, from America, we appreciate that because we
Right.
don't do royalty. Screw those people.
And that's the thing.
But
Amazon's
they're
an
dead.
American company.
Right?
No, they're alive.
Oh,
Amazon's
well,
an American company. He
Hey, I
trashed
thought
the
they were
royal
dead.
family in Britain. I don't care. I really don't.
I don't care about them at all.
last
Hey,
time I
did you
saw
hear the
I
Queen's
haven't cared
dead?
for them for a very specific
It's a shame,
amount of
isn't
time.
Ever.
since 1776.
Since 1776, I have not cared about the British royal family.
Exactly.
You like what it did there?
I love what you did there. You picked up what I put
I
down.
know, I did. I did.
So I'm really hoping that doesn't come to fruition because I want more Grand Tour. Amazon.
Well, it's
we
one
all
of those.
want more Grand Tour.
The one thing is, it's well, ever since they stopped the show and all of that, which was absolute, like, I think all of us cried like baby. I know I cried like a
Soul-crushing.
baby with that. because it wasn't one of those that was just Grand Tour stuff. Like, they actually got permission to do BBC stuff and, like, had the whole thing. And that was, like, watching my heroes just stop. But, I mean, it was good that they still did the, like, the specials and stuff like that. But at least keep 1 or 2 specials. I mean, even if you gotta have Jeremy put a bag over his head, like...
Hey, that's a solution. He just has to wear a bag over his head.
That says, I'm an idiot.
He'd probably do it like a dunce.
He
one.
would.
He would.
Well, I mean, Drive Tribe, Richard Hammond's on Drive Tribe all the time for the YouTube channel,
Yep.
The Smallest Cog and all that. And James May is always doing James May things from time to time, so.
With cheese. A lot of cheese.
And disassembling
All right,
things.
there is one acceptable outcome alternate to them not canceling the Grand Tour.
They put us on Amazon?
No.
YouTube picking it up.
I mean, we could use the
They
payday.
grab the 3 from Car Trek and have them take over.
No.
I find that acceptable.
I don't.
You know what? Here's the thing. Here's what I like about Car Trek. I like the fact that Car Trek is like the Kmart version of Top Gear,
Yes.
and they embrace being the Kmart version of Top
Right.
Gear. If they're actually Top Gear or the Grand Tour, they're no longer the Kmart version of Top Gear.
But that's what I'm saying. They take over the Grand Tour and turn the Grand Tour into the Kmart version of Top Gear.
No, but they need to add.
No.
They need to add
It's kind of
Derek
like
from Ice
GoBots
Script
versus
Garage,
Transformers.
Oh, jeez.
GoBots was the Kmart Transformers. They were.
Right.
But it would be the same thing of, like, remember when Top Gear USA came out type deal?
You know what? Here's the thing. The first season, they tried to replicate UK Top Gear
Right.
And you can't.
and didn't work.
Yeah.
But then when those 3 guys just sort of, as they went on and
They
they
finally
started,
clicked.
then when they started clicking, they were actually good.
Yes.
They
And then
were.
they got
They were
canceled.
actually
Excuse
good.
me.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons of it were actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they stopped trying to be what they weren't
Yeah.
and they
and
just
started
were.
playing to their own strengths instead.
Yeah.
And it was really good then.
Yeah, Adam was the clueless guy.
Mm-hmm.
Rutledge was the absolute car nerd, and Tanner was the hotshot driver. And
Right.
they just worked. Like I said, once they kind of found their groove, they worked, and they were actually really good. A lot better than the last Top Gear USA reboot,
Oh yeah.
or the last 2 Top Gear USA reboots. They
Or
did.
the last Top Gear reboot.
Actually, once they got rid of the stupid Ginger, the radio Ginger on the UK one, they just went to just Chris Harris, because Chris Harris is awesome.
No, ever since or the Holy Trinity left, no.
Well, you know what I want to hear about?
Mike's cars.
Yes.
Yes,
Mike's car.
that's why he's here.
So, Mike, we got all the pictures you sent us and all
We're
that.
gonna bring
And
these up.
yeah, Chris is doing this now. So we have been following him on TikTok, and that's where we found out about you and that.
Right.
And we're like, wow, this is an awesome build. And then found out, holy shit, he lives in our same county, 20, 30 minutes away from us. How did we not know about this? And we've been following it ever since, and your progress on this has been absolutely amazing.
Thanks.
While you've been progressing, I've been selling projects, and I'm like, shit, Rust. You're like, shit, Rust. And I'm like, fuck. And you're like, I'll put something new in. Like, yeah, no. You are doing something that we have always...
I'm trying to figure out what that was.
Anyway, none of our cars
Resale
are
truck?
No. Mine's paid for, well, it's up to
I
date.
was gonna say
Up to
mine's
date.
paid for.
Anyway, you're doing something that we have always wanted to do, because I know all 4 of us absolutely...
Mine's still there.
Yeah. We absolutely love gassers.
Thanks.
And we love just watching the videos of the old school gassers doing their thing and that, and it's one of those, like, you can have a car that's a 7-second car, it looks easy. You see a gasser go down a pass, and you're like, how the hell is that thing
Right.
like
Yeah.
in the
And,
lanes?
and I mean, and even like the super fast H-pattern manual cars, with all the technology in them. I mean, you watch Leroy, and you watch,
they're point and go.
Rub
I mean,
worm,
we
and
know
you
they
watch-
aren't point and go, but they look.
I mean,
point
you
and
know that
go.
they're doing it, but they're just traction control and height sensors and all of the stuff that they've got
Two-step
going on,
and all this stuff.
and you see them going down the road, and you know that it's just a hair's width of something going absolutely sideways, but they go down the track and they're still relatively, straight.
And
But then you see old
something
school
like-
There's no
gassers,
drama.
Yeah,
and you just see the
like,
gassers just like
blasphemy,
blasphemy and the Falcon that he's always racing
Oh,
against
my
on drag
God,
week. You
yeah,
see those
it's
cars
a
go down the
bum,
track,
bum,
and you just
bum.
those things are just rowdy. They're far more entertaining than anything else you see at the track.
Yeah, even the Southeast gassers, because they run everything from A gas all the way down to, I believe, H, which is like the 6-cylinder cars, and they also have there's a guy who runs a Volkswagen Bug.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is really cool. The car is really nice. But yeah, it's just ever since watching TV, you always watch. Everybody's seen it. If you're not a gearhead, you haven't seen Two-Lane Blacktop.
Oh yeah.
And then or if you've seen
American Graffiti.
or if you've seen the movie Hot Rod, the first one, made back in the '79.
Yep.
California Kid.
Yep. California Kid is another one.
That's one of those like you saw.
The car.
Yeah.
Yep. But
You see those
just
in-
I fell in love with gassers. Actually, I was watching. I watched Hot Rod, the movie Hot Rod. That got me really into gassers, and then when I was watching Power Block.
Oh yeah.
Muscle Car.
Yep.
I believe is what it was, and Rick Bacon was building a '64 AFX car.
Yeah.
Okay.
AFX Comet, and I was like, all right, I'm building something. And so I was looking around, and I found my car, and I believe it was Lithia.
Okay.
I think it was like $750. I found it on Craigslist. Me and a buddy of mine. Uh-oh.
Hang on a second. I'll be back.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, it's well, so
Yeah.
Lithia.
Yeah, so me and a buddy of mine, we jump in his truck and we go down and we check it out, and it looked rough. I figured, for $750, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
I figured, well, quarters, floors, the usuals.
Yeah.
And so me and the guy, we struck up a deal, and he had a bunch of cars. And I couldn't see the passenger side of the car because it was up against another car.
Okay.
So I was like, all right. I'm hoping the passenger side is just as decent looking as the driver. We went back a couple of weeks later. We got a trailer and everything went back, and we started pulling it out. And yeah, the passenger side wasn't better than the driver's
Yeah, I was
side.
just looking at the picture going,
It's
no,
like one
the
of them
passenger
fields
side
with
wasn't as
cars
good.
everywhere.
Yeah.
The passenger side wasn't nearly as good.
You literally
No,
pulled
no.
it out of the woods.
Yeah, we really did. And
That's awesome.
got it home and had it on the side of the house, and my wife was just shaking her head.
Dude, why'd you do
What are you getting me into? But once I power washed it, it didn't look as bad.
Okay.
So then I was like, well, let me see if it'll fit in the garage. So I put it in the garage, and that's when we found out every living little bug came out.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's normally what happens.
You got a whole ecosystem inside
and
the
I
car.
figured, well, okay, they'll all leave.
Yeah. No, they won't.
No, so the next day the car was out of the garage.
Yep. Yep. We had that same thing with the '86 convertible, the one project car and all that. It was one of those. Once it got inside, we're like, yeah, it's been outside for a bit. Let's go put it in the garage. We're like, nope, we're putting it back outside, and
Yep.
I need a. Who has a pressure washer?
I had to 10-foot fumigate my RX-7.
Yeah.
Because it was infested
Right,
with
right.
black widow spiders.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
Okay,
the point, it literally, they were
I hate
literally
to say
just
it, Mike, but
red
honestly,
everywhere.
you didn't have project cars. You had parts cars that you worked on.
I had parts cars that I made money off of. I
Yeah,
did
they
make
were-
money.
They're parts cars.
In that sense, I think my car smuggling history is a little better than his then, actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because you've lost money on yours?
No, I made money on like everything, like all the trucks and the expedition.
Well, yeah,
and-
no, but still. like-
And the last time you messed with an engine swap, it actually ran afterwards.
And I sold that. I
that
sold
was
that
a
truck
whole
for
big,
good money.
That was a whole big thing.
That was a clusterfuck and a half. That was a bad time.
We still got banned by Sony.
That was a bad.
We still got banned by Sony.
So many things.
Anyway, back to my
yeah.
stuff. Sorry. Sorry, we had a bad
Small
time.
block
No, no, no,
Chevys and blown head gaskets. And
That was like within our
tangent.
first, our first couple months. That was bad. We got banned by Sony and all that stuff. Ooh, it was
anyway,
bad. Yeah.
So,
It's in the freezer.
get the car back out, put it up on jack stands, and I start ripping it apart. And went to go take the passenger side door, open up the passenger side door, and the door literally fell off in my hand. And the whole A-pillar section is just rotted
Rotted.
away.
oh my god.
Oh, Now what do I do? So I was posting videos on Facebook and talking to friends and everything. And a buddy of mine who lives in Palm Harbor, he builds cars out of his house and all. He goes, if you get the part, we can replace it. I said, dude, there's no way you're going to replace this. He's like, yeah, you can replace it. He's like, just get the part. So I think I got it out of New Mexico.
Okay.
I had it. I found the part.
And you had it
shipped over. And I'm like, all right, I got it. So he came up like a week or so later. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, we'll just cut it here, cut it there, cut it here, cut it there, and it'll be great. Okay.
We will have to split them up.
We'll split them. Hey, do you want to make this a little bit shorter so that way they can still see us and then still see the pictures? Maybe put them over on... if anything, you can block me out.
Here.
Okay.
Block me out.
We did that anyway.
Aww.
Well, no, so that way they can see Mike talking about everything. So, so you got the part from New Mexico.
So I got the part. He comes up. He looks at it. He's like, yeah, we can fix this. I'm like, all right. So I get a straight axle. I put a straight axle from a 50 Chevy, 3/4 ton truck.
Oh, okay.
And use a set of Speedway, what the adapter kit to go from drum brakes to disc. It utilizes second gen Camaro front discs.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of swaps that use second-gen Camaro stuff.
Yeah, so it uses the rotors and it uses the brake calipers. The only thing you have to change the inner bearing and race. I think you have to go to an A2 bearing, is what you have to go to. They give you really nice instructions on what to do. So I got the rotors, got the I got the rotors, and put it all together, and now I have a gasser.
Yeah.
I've got a straight axle under this car. It is a gasser.
Front end up.
Yeah,
everything.
has no rear end yet.
Yeah, still.
I've got a front end of this car. And so I go down to my buddy's house. He calls me. He said, I always want to narrow rear ends. He's like, if I buy the jig, he's like, you buy the parts, and I'll narrow a rear end for you. Okay. He had a 9-inch. I go down there. I had bought the new bearings and the end caps.
Okay.
They use the Torino bearings.
Oh, okay.
So I got them, went down to his house. We cut the rear end down. He measured it all out. He had the jig. It uses those pucks and it's just a big long bar. Welded it all up. Brought it back. Got it under the car. I got new leaf springs for the car, and I went to go put this thing on the ground. Went to go put wheels on it, and the wheels would not fit.
No, did you have to get custom axles made for it?
Well, I went to Speedway, and I got their cut down. You can cut them down yourself.
Oh, okay.
So I did that, and I got a spool in there. I got the chunks in there and everything. So right now it rolls and everything. But when I put the wheels on, of course they wouldn't fit because I've got a wheel well right there.
Yeah.
So I had a radius to wheel wells. Wheel wells, tires are on. I have a rolling gasser. So, but he comes up a couple weeks later. We put the car on his trailer. We take it down to his house, and we start chopping. And he's teaching me. And this is how I'm learning.
Yeah.
Because I've never done this heavy before.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. Well, he's teaching me how to cut out spot wells and how to do everything. And I'm trying to do it. And I'm taking my time. He finally comes over with a whatchamacallit? Sawzall. And just goes, you're taking too long. Woof! Woof! Okay.
Now what am I supposed to do?
All points of reference are now
They're
gone.
I was trying to take my time so I knew how to put it back together.
So he's like, here, take the new piece and get all this off. I'll finish this up. So he finishes up that one. I get the new piece all cleaned up. He puts it in there. Bam! We can put doors on the car now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now it's got doors. Okay. Well, had to do the upper cowl because it was rotted. So I come cutting out spot wells, and I get the upper cowl off, and there's no lower cowl.
Oh.
There's maybe the center section of the lower cowl is there, and remnants of vents.
Everything else.
Oh God! So I got the new upper cowl, but I couldn't find lower cowl.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Everyone says the Mustang is based off the Falcon.
It is.
It is.
Okay. We're gonna get Mustang ends and put them in. They should go right in. You look at the pictures online, and they look identical.
They're not.
Yeah, no.
They're universal fit. We have to search the universe for something that they fit.
Exactly.
One size fits some.
So, needless to say, it was a bunch of slicing, dicing, pie cutting, wedging, pizza cutting, Julianing, just enough to get it in there. And my buddy, he gets the passenger side done. He's like, well, you're doing the driver's side by yourself. Okay. So I'm cutting it all out, and at this
Your
point...
buddy sounds like Brian. Your buddy sounds like Brian.
And at this point, I moved from Spring Hill to Homosassa.
Yeah.
So it was a trek, and like an hour and a half trek each way to go down. I'm like, all right, let's get the car back up to the house. At least now I've got a decent-sized shop I can work in and work on the car. It took me a little bit, but I got it done. Got the upper cowl on. There's a couple brackets that welded to it. And then I had to do the front radiator support. Mm-hmm. Put that in. Take the old one off. And the front part of the frame is rotted. Or where the battery sat, and you get all those years of boiling over, and so had to fix that. And it's just been it's been a process. It really has. But I'll tell you, it's overwhelming at times. But for the most part, it's been a really great adventure. I was gonna say,
it looks like a fun journey. Yeah. I mean, just seeing your videos and all that, and seeing it go from, like you said, from something that you're like, hey, everything's rusted here, here, and here, to, hey, I got new floors, and I got new, A-pillars, I got new everything in, and you're like, wow, it's
a car again.
Yeah. And my buddy even said, he's like, if you brought, because he builds cars for a living. And, I'm trying to, I have this car that looks like it should have went to the junkyard, not be saved. And he's like, if you brought that back to my house now, he's like, people would actually go, wow, that's a nice looking car. It's rough, but it's still you got a nice platform you're working with. Yeah. So.
That's a good feeling, though.
Yeah.
Like, taking something that
and all the positive feedback I've been getting, too, has been great. Yeah. That really helps. But the biggest fight in my head is, I'm not building a SEMA car.
No.
That's where I get...
You want your welds to actually be welds.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your welds actually penetrate and connect metal together.
Right.
Yeah. That right there means it's not a SEMA car.
I mean,
right.
you do have the SEMA drive shaft, though. Mm-hmm. You do have the Bluetooth drive shaft.
Yeah, I do have the Bluetooth drive shaft.
So, I mean, at this point, your car would be a perfect SEMA car. Your car would be a perfect SEMA car.
I get that in my head every once in a while, and it brings me down. And it's just, I just got to remember, it's not a SEMA car. No. You're building a driver. You're building a replica race car. That's what you're building.
And it's a car for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you want it to be...
It's something you can take to the track and thrash on.
Right.
And not get upset if something goes wrong and it gets broken.
And then smile extra because you
because you built it. Like, your hands built that thing.
Yeah, well, I will be running a 390 FE, and of course everybody knows FE stands for friggin' expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, we know somebody who has a very big FE motor, and he recently torched the cylinder head again.
We also know one that went upside down, too.
Same guy.
Oh.
In his driveway.
In his own driveway.
It was 50 feet from his driveway.
I'd say close enough to property line.
Yeah.
But
That's okay. Me and Brett nicknamed him Flip.
Yeah.
Flip. Well, do we want to pour this?
So, and we'll end up splitting it so that way everybody can
fire in the cannons.
So this one is the one I brought for the night, which is from Divine Brewing Company, and it is called Fire the Cannons, and it is a red ale.
Get you some.
Get you some of that, buddy.
Get you going.
All right, if someone wants to pass that down, and then do that, and then we'll pass. I figured I did about what would be 12 ounces, and then here, Brian.
It looks amazing.
This one's a little darker.
Nice bright red.
Yeah. So there you go.
The guy at the liquor store did say to expect a lot of caramelized.
All right, does any of them have some stuff left?
That's empty. That's empty.
This one's
Lots
got more in it.
Okay.
Mine's got more in it too.
No, here, I'll do this.
Okay.
All right, that's got some that you can have that. Damn it,
Yeah,
Brian.
that's all.
Alright, so there's some there, and then we're pretty much all at the same height.
I think we're good.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, we are actually.
Yeah,
I think we did way too good.
Hey, look at us. We did math.
That was scary. That was a lot of
math.
Oh,
math. M-A-A.
No, methanol injection.
Yes.
Math
Cheers.
Math is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
math is a hell of a drug. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Hold on, I didn't even
Ooh,
read
that is good.
anything about this.
That is good.
Fire the can. Oh, and so it's a red.
Yeah, it's a nice red.
Oh, it's only
Fire the
5.4
cannons.
too.
I don't know.
Fire
Oh,
the
it's from Palm
cannons!
Harbor. We've never done anything by this brewing company.
I don't
Yeah, we
think
have.
so.
I think we have.
Divine?
I think we have.
I don't think so.
He's whipping out the Google Doc.
To be honest,
It was in the news section at ABC. I was like, perfect, a red ale.
that
Yes.
name would have stuck out with any of the other Florida beers that we've done. I don't think we have.
Yeah, I
But
didn't recognize
I
the
do
name.
love
the
Oh,
airship, pirate ships.
fucking what is it, Atlantis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pirates of Atlantis style.
Yes. Yep. I was trying to remember what the hell that
it's getting
Disney movie
cold.
was.
I have to move back up to
I was
the
gonna
jacket.
say I might need my.
So, I actually have a question for you, and this is more for the viewers, but it's actually for me because I don't know. I love gassers, but
also,
I don't know a
don't
lot
forget to pull back up the chat.
about them as far as what makes a gasser a gasser.
Oh,
Episode
shit.
70.
Hold on,
Episode
sorry.
78.
Oh, we did one.
Divine?
It was an
Sorry,
IPA.
we also have we got a lot of
DD
comments.
Speed
on
Shop,
that.
how's it going?
Hey.
Sean Moore.
DD Speed Shop. He's actually out of he's out of Canada too. He's
Okay.
other end of Canada.
All right. Well, hell, it's like a 90
So,
garage.
what,
I was gonna say,
Saskatchewan?
Ignited
Yeah.
Garage, like our
Not Ontario,
Canadian friends.
Over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Shoot, we have a lot of Canadian friends because Ignited Garage that
Yep.
we found out through TikTok and all that stuff, and he does his drifting stuff and all that.
That's
So-
Dan and his girlfriend Danielle. He builds a lot of Tri-5s stuff. He does
Okay.
he does 4-door to 2-door conversions,
Oh wow!
which is
Ooh,
really
I love
cool.
when
Oh.
people do that.
Oh yeah, hey, we're gonna have to check you out, guys. Who
Yes.
else do we got?
Shauna. And
Shauna Moore.
Rick.
Yep. Hey,
And
well,
Donna.
thanks guys for tuning in and that. So, like Chris was saying, so what
So-
exactly is a gas?
So what is a gasser? What makes a gasser a gasser?
What runs on regular gas?
Okay.
No nitrous. They don't run nitrous. No blowers. No nothing like that. It's just straight. A gasser is gas.
now, is there
Normally
a
aspirated.
Naturally aspirated gas car.
is there a certain octane that like?
Well, then they do run race fuel.
Okay.
So that's what the little tanks always run in the
Yeah.
front for.
Okay.
Well, do you know? Because I honestly don't. What like started doing? What imposed like everybody doing the lifted chassis
With,
So-
with a straight axle in the
and
front.
the straight axle in the front? Yeah.
So back then they weren't allowed to move the engines. Engines had to stay in the position of a factory car.
Okay.
Well, they never said you couldn't lift the front of the car up
For weight transfer.
for weight transfer.
Ah, that okay. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So it's for the whole launch of the car.
Right. Gases started.
That's why they stick down.
Gases
against
were your
railing.
premature
Funny cars.
funny cars. Because after you had gases, then you went to the AFX cars.
Oh,
Which
okay.
were the
okay.
alters.
Right.
'Cause
Altered
then-
wheelbase.
Right, because you couldn't
Oh,
move the
okay.
engine,
And there's
but
one-
they never
there's-
said you
there's-
can't push them forward. You
And
can't push the wheels
there's a
forward.
guy running around here that's built a street going altered wheelbase Plymouth, the red one.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
and that's what they
yes,
started
yes.
doing.
The one where the rear end's a little bit.
Yeah, they moved the front. They moved
yeah.
the rear wheels closer
Yep.
to the center of the
Yeah,
car.
and it's
Right.
right near rear. Okay, yeah, he's always at cruisers
So-
and all
yeah,
that
So,
stuff.
so
Yeah.
Super nice
the
guy,
gas,
super
the
nice guy.
gasser
And that
is,
one's a 64 or 65 Fury, I think, right?
Something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, and it's one of
It's
those.
it's got a modern twin plug Hemi in it and all that.
Nice.
But
Well,
still,
it's
I mean, it's
super
a
awesome.
cool car,
and
it's
then yeah, you look at it, and the rear wheels are like you got the trunk and like the back of the trunk.
Yeah, they're-
basically
they're-
like the
they're
like the rear
moved. Yeah, the
deck.
whole rear axle is moved forward like
Basically,
I don't know,
to
13,
where
14
the
They
inches.
shove them as far forward
Yeah.
as they possibly can.
And if you don't realize it when you look at it, it's weird looking.
Yeah.
Like it is.
well, and knowing that though, doesn't that makes the gasser like the pure form?
Oh yeah.
Then,
Right.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is. That's
Think of the gasser as the origin story.
it is.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Now, the guy who runs Southeast Gases, Queen Stott, he originally was a Pro Mod driver
Okay.
back in, I believe, maybe like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And after he just did his thing with Pro Mod, then he started getting into reliving the old days.
Okay.
And he's come out with an extensive amount of very strict rules. Could they be stricter? Sure. But a lot of stuff is like you're allowed to use, you can use, not Tremor, but you can use like more modern 4-speed transmissions.
Okay. So like a Muncie
Or like a Liberty.
Like a Liberty transmission, yeah, things like that. But the only thing is you have to clutch the car.
Okay.
if they don't think you're clutching the car when you're racing it, they will put a camera inside your car to make sure you're clutching the car.
Oh.
Because like a Liberty transmission, when you're
You don't-
on it,
you
you
don't
can
need
flat,
it.
you
Yeah.
don't have to clutch it. You can
Right.
flat shift it.
High tower transmissions is another one.
Yeah.
But and I get that because if you start using up all the top loaders, all the monsters,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna just kill them all and
Yeah.
you know,
They'll be gone.
explode them
And
all
then,
apart.
yeah, and then they'll be gone.
And of course now because we do have better tires, we have better
But-
brakes,
yeah.
you know, and it just so you can using that stuff will be able to take more of the abuse
Yeah.
that today's technology offers.
Yeah.
Now, when you're doing brakes, do you have to use like a production-based brake, or can you use something like AP Racing or
If you do,
TBMs
you
or
have
anything
to
like that?
you have to paint the calipers, so you can't see any names and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Same thing like with shocks. You have to be painted black so you can't see
So,
like you know.
so it seems factory.
Right.
Okay.
Try to stay.
So
as,
if you're using Vikings or Menskers or anything like
Yeah.
that,
Right.
as long as it doesn't have a label on it, you're pretty much good.
yeah.
So
yeah.
it's more for like the aesthetic, you know,
Yeah.
purity of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, though.
But I mean, there's other gas groups out there. They have different rules.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Now,
cool.
what-
Yeah, so
what
I
size
know,
rear-
like on Drag Week, especially with Finnegan's Blasphemy,
Yeah.
he's got a blown Hemi in it.
yeah.
In the 55.
Right.
But, I mean, it's still, straight axle lifted in the front, manual.
Yeah.
And when that thing gets down, it's amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
the
mean,
cars
When
are
it works.
incredible.
When it works.
When it works.
When it works. When it works.
But, like I said, the one year he did win. He did win his
and-
class.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
And that was
thing-
with him and
but-
Tony Angelo. I mean, they were bench pressing the transmission out between rounds and just.
But just
Yeah.
watching that thing go, I mean, it was one you launched, then it was, is he going to cross? Is he going to hit? Is he going to cross? Is he going to hit? Is he going to cross? And that was
Watching
every
him-
single gear.
Watching it
And that's when-
power shifted into second with the wheels off the ground.
And that's like what Brian was talking about. Like on the gassers, it's just raw.
Yeah.
There's no control.
Yeah.
No.
It's dramatic.
Yeah.
I actually said that one time.
It's not a point and shoot. It's a point and.
Pray to God.
So I said that. So my car, my S197 Mustang, it's not fast, but you get on it and it starts spinning the wheels and the car's all over the place and it's drama, it's pantomime, it's fun. And then I get into I work for Kia. Get into a Stinger GT2 all-wheel drive twin turbo V6 that will absolutely destroy my car every time off
Right.
the line, and it's no fun.
Because it hooks and goes.
Because you put your foot on the brake, you plant the gas all the way, you let your foot off the brake, and it just goes that way really fast, but with zero drama to it. That's what's cool with the gas.
that was my- and that
so
was-
much drama in a pass.
And that was my experience driving the Tesla and the Lightning F-150. They're stupid fast.
Is it?
but
The acceleration is absolutely retarded. But outside of feeling the front wheels managing the grip through the steering wheel, that's the only sensation that you're doing sketchy shit that you even feel.
Yeah.
Other than that, it just goes.
Right.
And
But it
so-
was unlike. Sorry, it was
No,
unlike
you're fine.
Cody's Evo when you do a pull on that, and even though it's all-wheel drive, but when you have almost 800 horsepower, it's oh my god! Why am I pointing
Well,
7 different ways?
That's what I was gonna say. Even though mine's not like crazy or anything, that's
Yeah.
Okay,
that-
but
yeah.
here, but here's also a thing. So,
with mine.
having driven your car and then having driven your car with little videos of me, squirting and making stupid noises with your car was way more entertaining to drive than the
It's just
Tesla.
rowdy.
Than the Tesla. But also the fact that my one-legged ass was driving a 3-pedal manual, just like I said, I mean, that's humorous in and of itself. But like I said, once I got the thing rolling and just all of the pops and bangs and stupid noises and stuff and the torque steer and everything that's going on with your car, yeah, a
giggle like a
Tesla would
little-
absolutely smoke you at a stoplight.
But you
But your
giggle like
car's
hell during
But
that
your
one.
car is just
Hey,
way more fun.
But the single motor Teslas, I fucking walk though. The dual motors, I don't got nothing on. The single motor ones, I've came across a couple. I fucking got them
Yeah, like I
But,
said, the one I drove was a dual motor.
in Mexico, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You boys like Mexico?
Sometimes.
Man, yeah, no, it's
Yeah, see, my Gen Xer stuff is rubbing off on them because they are learning to use the word allegedly.
allegedly
yeah,
in Mexico.
yeah.
See, we grew up without cell phones, and we saw cameras. We're like, nah, that shit's not memories. That shit's evidence. Put it
Well,
away.
hey, no, we
we're-
did too. We
Yeah,
did
but
too.
we're in the spot where like all of us are like, yeah, we have that, but don't record that. And everybody else is like, oh, and we're like, no.
Rick's got a good question.
Oh, no.
Are Chevy motors okay in the Ford?
No.
And
No.
See, Rick has a 62 Falcon gasser, and he
Okay.
has a small block Chevy in it.
No offense, your car's probably wonderful.
But the distributor is in the wrong place.
Yeah. Turn the
the
engine the other way.
chassis is not designed for that distributor location.
And I wanted to ask you too, because I wanted to get we got sidetracked. Anyway, so carburetor, yes, no,
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
and 390, right?
The 390 FE, actually, I'm running dual carburetors.
Dual carb, high compression,
No. It, probably 10.
10.
Okay.
So that should be good for like trailer, empty trailer.
Yeah, you want to get that?
That-
It almost sounds like he was tapping the brakes and the trailer was starting to lock
I
up.
was gonna say neighborhood of like 500.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yep.
that should be a fucking rowdy ride though.
Yeah, but
you don't need much.
Yeah, but if he's
No.
running low compression like that, that'll be fine for 93 pump gas and something you can drive on the street
That's
all the time.
exactly
Exactly.
what I was just
Exactly.
thinking. And
Now-
then when you come up next to somebody, you're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, let me show you real quick."
Yeah. Now, what rear tire are you allowed to run? Like, what size?
No wider than a 10-inch.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So what, something like a
That
275?
makes it extra
Yeah.
spicy though, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, 275. Yeah.
Now, does it have to be a radial, or can it be a like a
when
drag
you're-
radial? Can it
when
be a
you're
full
when
slick?
they're at the track, they run full slicks.
Full slick. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if like the class has like.
Well, especially
something
on a manual car, because that's the one problem. I mean, like a slick will recover a little bit if you break it loose, but a
Yeah.
radial,
Oh,
once it
yeah.
snaps loose off the
that-
line,
You're
you're
done.
done.
You're
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's,
Especially like with how everything happened, those launches must be so hard on them.
Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they run. A
And
lot of the
they-
guys run. Well, when you run the leaf springs, they also run ladder bars too.
Yeah,
And
right.
they run sliders on the axle because it just from the
They'll compensate everything.
yeah, it just,
doing that.
it'll
Yeah.
just push.
Yeah.
Okay.
but yeah, like I said,
That's
just
wild.
go on YouTube and look up some like legit gas or
I've
drag
seen-
racing, and it's just
I've seen so many.
like I said, and that's the thing. From the time you see him just on the line and just like RPM, clutch dump, sketchy shit happens, wind light comes on.
Like I said, there's a bunch. There's a few different gasser groups out there,
Okay.
and they all have different rules and stuff like that. A lot of guys run blowers. A lot of guys run back half cars. You know, they just
It's just up
It's
to
all
the.
It's up
the
to them.
class.
I like
I-
I like the full body car though, like what you're doing. I like that direction though, like a lot. For
I'd
it.
like to
seems
try
a
to
lot-
stay as period correct as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, and that's like that would be the thing too. Is like if you had a car that you needed to drive, but you also wanted to do that with, that would be that
Yeah.
kind of car.
Right.
And
Well,
I
it's
know.
like what I try to do with the 86. I try
yeah,
to
just,
keep it
I
as,
like the full body
period.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like
Period
that better than
correct.
like tub cars and fiberglass. And,
and I
all
went
that.
with the
I mean,
sedan
they're cool.
over the coupe
Mm-hmm.
because the sedan is a little more stronger with having that full B pillar.
Yeah, you got more bracing for
Yeah.
torque. Yeah. That's
Now,
awesome.
are you gonna put a cage into it?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
it will have a cage, subframe connectors too. So
All that. Okay.
drive shaft loop.
Yeah.
you know,
All
lots of
that.
big
Yeah.
feet.
Safety.
Don't know if I'll ever need it, but if it'll be there.
Now,
Yeah,
do
no,
y'all have to
better
run
safe than sorry.
the what is it? The engine diaper and all that for?
You know, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I haven't.
Because I know a lot of new classes
Yeah.
are starting to where people have
Yeah.
to start running, especially the high. Well, I know a lot of the high horsepower classes and all that.
Yeah.
They're starting to make them to where they run that because you're seeing a lot of like the 1,000 horsepower people that are
You can't
pumping their
run
stuff everywhere.
no billet.
Okay.
No billet wheels. Has to be. You can only run certain wheels.
Okay.
Like I have the Craig SS's on the
Yeah.
front. I have the old school daisies on the back, but those daisies were because they were in the 70s more than in the
Yeah.
60s. I can't use them. So I do have a set of
okay.
slots,
Ooh.
but I'd like to go with just a set of 15x8 steelies for the
Yeah.
back.
I was gonna
So-
say the slots are.
Yeah.
I love the slots. The slots are.
The wheelie bars
amazing
can't be
looking.
sprung.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So they have to be like hard mount.
Hard mount wheelie
Wow.
bars.
Okay.
Like the wheelie bars
That's
that I
gotta be
have.
sketchy.
The
That's gotta
wheelie
be
bars that I
sketchy.
have are actually off a friend's car.
Okay.
He has a 64 as well that he runs with with Southeast Gassers, and he redid his whole rear suspension, and he gave me his old wheelie bars, and they actually use motorcycle shocks.
Okay.
They're actually leaf springs that are cut and tied together, and then there's motorcycle shocks that connects to it.
Okay.
Huh. I would have never thought of something like
Yeah.
that.
That's pretty neat.
Because I've always
I like
always
that.
seen them, you know, with like the little, like the regular little shocks on them. Like, huh. That's interesting.
I can't wait to see the car rip.
Oh,
For sure.
yeah.
Can't wait.
So
That's
on your cage specs, I mean, are you guys limited to be able to run just so fast? Because I know when Finnegan's building Blasphemy, he's pretty much stuck at 850 because to go
Because-
beyond
yeah.
850, he has to do a funny car
Funny
cage
car
inside
cage,
the
yeah.
car. He doesn't want to do that in
Yeah, no,
Blasphemy.
we
so.
can't do funny car cages.
So was it like the 10-point gauge or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, pretty much.
So it would be like 25.1 or 25.3 or something like
Yeah, I
that.
think so.
Kind of
Yeah.
following NHRA rules for
The-
some
the
of it.
fol- well,
I
he's
can't really see it.
They're
so.
following the rules from 1967.
Sorry, I'm trying to read.
But like I said, anything that
Does it hurt?
Donna wants to know where you learned all of this.
just from watching TV and watching videos and just
I think that's where all of us.
following as much as I can, of different groups and stuff.
And obviously, you have a car history then, right? You're like,
Yeah.
you always
Yeah.
been a car nut.
Yeah,
then,
my dad was always a car guy, and I learned from him. Now, and actually, that's a question I have for all of you. I know for me, when I was young, I'll never forget the day I was standing. We lived on the corner house, and one day this guy came up. It was a guy I knew was his brother, and he pulled up to the corner and just did a smoky burnout. And I've been into cars as I was telling because of my dad, but that was what like hooked me on cars.
I have a story.
So I'm
almost
just curious now for you
like
guys.
that.
What
so
was it
I'll
for
let
you?
y'all go first.
Yeah, I'm quick, so I'm the odd one out of my family. I'm like the only car person,
Me too, though.
and
Me
That was
three.
my thing.
Same.
yeah, for me, it was from a very young age. I just started kind of like noticing the shapes of cars, and then I think it was seeing, and this might sound like really funny, but it was seeing, and for my age too, the 80s something like C4 Corvette.
Yeah.
There was like some advertisement for that, and that just absolutely blew my mind as a child.
Well, they did have awesome
And
advertising. They
from
really
then
did.
on, I just wanted to know everything about cars and what put them together and what did everything. And I could literally, my mom and my dad will talk about it, going through traffic at nighttime as a
picking out cars.
Picking
Picking
out
out
cars.
under
Walk
10
with the headlights.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like 6-7 years old, picking out headlights, taillights, saying what the cars are.
Exact same
And,
way.
and
Exact
I've just
same
always
way.
been obsessed with everything, and especially teenage years, and finding out there's ways to make our fucking cars fast. What? Starting to
And
do
in those
that,
same teenage years, me and you racing back and forth to school.
and now I'm still
Allegedly?
Exactly.
Was that allegedly?
It was definitely allegedly.
Well, no.
In Mexico.
Hold on,
hey,
hold on. A friend of ours, CJ,
Yeah.
his dad bought my dad's Mustang, so it's now the dad car. He just sent me a picture of a Toyota motherfucking Sarah.
Where?
Boy.
I don't know where, but it's freaking cool.
But no, I
But yeah,
did it.
I've always been obsessed with
Our cars weren't fast enough to break the speed limit. So yes, us racing back and forth to school, we were in the speed limit.
Yeah.
We
I
thought
just-
we were going fast. We weren't.
The
We weren't.
infatuation just grew. I just like
Trust me.
I
We
love-
hit 45. That was it.
every different type of car I can find appreciation for. I love every kind of car. I might drive a little Japanese hot box thing, but I
got a Ford
love
motor.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's got a Ford
everything.
engine.
It does have a.
You drive a Ford.
What about you, Chris?
All right, so
I drive.
Dad was a car salesman, so I was obsessed with cars since before I can remember. My earliest memory of a car was Dad brought home I want to say it was probably an 83, 84 911 black,
Save the wheels.
I've always
and
wanted-
Yes.
let me drive it. And I mean, he let me and my brother both sit on his lap and steer this car.
I don't know.
That's the funnest thing.
And we have pictures of it. And then that year for Christmas, I got like a Power Wheels Porsche. And I had a video of, they had a camcorder video of me ripping the box open and seeing the headlights and going, a Porsche! A Porsche! Oh my god, it's a Porsche! Knew it just by looking at it going, yup, that's a Porsche. I was born into being a car guy. I don't even remember not being into cars. So it was just an always thing for me.
Brian?
So for me, when I was kissing, my dad was into airplanes, and still is. So that was his thing. He never was a car guy. My mom wasn't into cars. There really wasn't any of my family that was into cars.
Airplane guys are like car guys, though.
They kind of are.
I know.
Like
But-
horse girls.
I
Okay,
love
so
his
they
dad.
kind of are. So, I mean, from as long as I can remember, like, anytime it was like I was out at the store with mom, or I was out at the store with dad, or Christmas time, birthday time, I always got like Hot Wheels. I got like model cars. When I was a kid, I had a race car bed. I had a race car bed. That kind of stuff. So it was
I'm
like,
about to be 30. I really still want one so bad.
hey, I'm 50, and if, like I said, if I had a chance to buy another race car bed that was big enough to fit my tall ass, I'd probably get it just because why not? But no, seriously. So that was my thing. It was like, and even though, we all have Hot Wheels now, it's, back in the day, Hot Wheels was always like American cars and fantasy cars. But if you saw any kind of import car, it
Matchbox.
was Lesney Matchbox or Corgis or anything like that. Now it's all kind of flip flop and everybody's doing everything. But through that, and then building models, and it was the same thing. Like I said, it was like shapes, light arrangements. At night, I could pick out cars at night just based on what their headlights were, what the taillights were. I grew up, as a kid in the 70s and 80s, the car advertisements. You saw all of those were amazing, and you saw all those things. They were a lot more prevalent than they are now. And it wasn't like, come see our range of silver SUVs.
No, it's, what's the Matador?
Yeah, or the Datsun B210,
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. But like I said, so growing up with, regular TV that was saturated with car ads, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, model cars. And then, growing into the 80s, you started seeing, like, the old school TV shows on the Nashville Network. You had, like, the original Shade Tree Mechanic.
Yep.
ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Oh, yes.
Covering the NASCAR races and stuff like that, and early Formula One races, IndyCar racing. Trans Am racing was actually a thing that you saw on TV every weekend that it was running. All kinds of stuff like that. And you just kind of absorbed it all, and, well, here I am. And, see, like I said, there's some guys that they're only Ford guys, and on top of that, they're only Mustang guys, or they're only Chevy guys, or they're only a Corvette guy, or only a Mopar guy, and I'm not that.
Me neither.
I'm way further back out to where it's like, that's got 4 wheels, a steering wheel, and if it makes cool noises,
Exactly.
and it goes kind of cool, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
And
See,
it's actually, and now it's
started as
evolved
that.
even more beyond that. Now, if it's quirky, if it's weird, even with my one-legged ass, and even if it's got 3 pedals, if you throw me the keys to something completely odd and weird, you throw me a Simca, you throw me the keys to an Alpha, you throw me the keys to some shitbox communist car, a Yugo, I don't care. If you throw me the keys to something, I'll try to drive it, and I'll probably find something about that car that I'll
you
dig.
love.
Yeah.
I will find something in that nugget shitbox to appreciate.
Yeah. So mine started because I'm the youngest out of another
Empty
empty
trailers! Oh, nice!
Trailers tonight.
So I'm the youngest out of both my siblings. My oldest sister 10 years older than me. My other sister's 6 years older than me.
And they can still kick his ass.
Yeah. Oh, they can. But it was one of those to where when we would go when my mom would take us all to the store and all that, if you were good in the store, you got a candy bar. I've never had a sweet tooth or anything like that.
Hot Wheels.
At that time, for the price of a candy bar that my sisters would get, I could buy 2 Hot Wheels. And
Right,
because
right.
it was back when they were 50 cents a piece. So for the $1 that they got for that, I got 2 Hot Wheels. So from the young age of like 2, 3, I got to pick Hot Wheels. And I still have them in my bedroom right now. But I started collecting Hot Wheels and just started getting into that. And then I would do the same thing of, like, my mom still, like, she talks about, like, I don't know how you weren't even in preschool yet, and you were able to tell what car was coming towards us by the headlights that they had. I'm like, it's what I saw on the Hot Wheels and that. But I vividly remember at the age of 6, my next door, and when we lived in Spring Hill, the older lady that lived across the street from us. She was the original owner of a 1983 Monte Carlo, and that she had from new, and that her oldest son bought a 64 Mustang convertible, candy apple red, white top off of eBay, right when eBay first fucking started and all that. And it turned out to be a fucking rust bucket. And that, like, there was rust falling off of it. Like, it looked good until you opened up a door and then you're like, huh, hey, I can see the floor. Like, I can see the ground. Like, this isn't good. But I remember the big semi-truck pulling up and it coming off, and it was a cold January morning. I was in a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and I remember just staring out the bay window in the front of the house, watching this car come off the trailer and just being like, that's a 64 Mustang. Mom's like, well, how do you know what year? I'm like, that's a 64 Mustang. That's a 64 Mustang. Went outside, and...
Fun fact, no such thing as a 64 Mustang. Just saying.
Well,
64 and a half.
There's no such thing as a 64 and a half. They're all titled 65s.
Anyway, so, going out there, and she's like, well, and got to sit in it, got to start it up, got to go around the block in it. Hooked instantly. I was a Mustang fan ever since, and then, but also with the burnouts, there was a guy that lived the street right behind us. He ended up buying a 2000 Trans Am WS6, black T-tops, all that.
T-tops would work for the devil.
Oh, but I mean, it is the perfect the perfect WS6. The perfect
perfect WX6 is a slick top.
Anyway, every single time I would be out in the front yard and you could hear this car start up. He ended up doing cams, exhaust, all that, and you could hear this thing start up. And I'd be standing at, because we were at the corner a lot too, and I could hear it coming. And I knew exactly where he went and where he would go to work. And you had our stop sign, and then it was up a hill. And I would go stand at my yard, the stop sign, and he'd get there, and I'm like, do a burnout. Every single time, if we were outside, if we weren't outside, he wouldn't do it. But if we were outside, he'd light those bitches up all the way up the fucking hill. First, second, third, just going sideways up the hill every single time, just to make us smile. And that, like, that
And Mike will still stand out by the stop sign.
And I do.
He does.
I still do that.
I think we've all seen him do that.
And I yell that constantly at every car that goes by. I'm like,
burnout.
do a burnout. Like, no, okay.
I've tried to with my neighbor down the road because I'm not the loudest car on the block anymore.
Oh.
My neighbor who lives 2 streets down bought one of them Ram TRXs with a Hellcat motor.
Yeah.
And he straight piped it, like all the way back, no nothing.
Nice.
So it's like Sabrina's car.
He gets well, I don't know if he gets up. He starts the warm up at about 6:30 every morning. And
So it's Sabrina's car.
and that's when I wake up.
It's Sabrina's car.
And I've seen him. I'm like, dude, do a burnout, because by the time I leave, he's always coming down, and I'm like, he has his window down. I'm like, dude, do a burnout. No, every day, and I'm like, come on, it's one of them Hellcat ones, and he straight piped it too. I'm like,
Do a burnout.
do supercharger
Come on.
whiny stuff.
I never knew the guy's name, anything about him, but all I remember was the 2000s black sunglasses, like the thin black sunglasses, frosted spiky tips, and he would just look over and go,
Oh, yeah,
thumbs up,
man.
and just go. And every single time. And he ended up, right before he moved, he ended up trading that car in for a Z06.
Nice.
A C5 Z06 that was silver.
But some things don't change.
No, and he did the same exact
No,
fucking thing every single time.
Because how many times are we like, hey, do you know so-and-so? No, I don't know that guy.
What
Yeah,
does he
you know
drive?
so-and-so. He's got the GT500. Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I know him.
And I can name off every single part that he has on the car.
Have no
Don't
idea
know-
what the guy's name is,
No,
but you know the
see,
car.
There's still people I know for the last 15
like, oh,
years that I
yeah.
don't know their names, but I
Know the
can
car.
do the entire build
But
of their car
you'll
over the years.
You'll even know if they have like family and shit. Though.
Yes.
But, like,
Oh yeah.
you
No,
don't
I know the
any of
family
their
names, not them.
Nothing. No, it's he's got the fucking Z06. I know that guy.
Well, it took me a long enough time to know your damn name. I just knew you were the dude that parked next to me that me and you raced every single day.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like,
Crashing on the
you know, so I mean,
cars.
like, my thing also led from that to, you know, when I was like 12, 13, you know, I had to mow the yard and I needed to move the vehicles, and the vehicles were manuals. So I had to figure out the whole clutch shift go thing on my own just to move the cars out of the way to mow the yard. And of course, for me, moving the cars out of the way meant driving a half mile around the block that I lived on.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because
Always.
obviously, if you drive it a half a mile around the block, it's much easier to put the car where you want it.
Exactly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, versus backing out of the driveway and trying to steer it around. No, you
So-
just go around.
After I got my turned 15, got my learner's license and everything, you know, anytime me and my dad would go somewhere, just the two of us, he'd be like, "Hey, you want to drive?" I'm like, "I'm 15, I got a learner's permit." "Hell yeah, I want to drive." And we'd always take the Chevy truck, so he'd grab me, I'd grab the keys to the Chevy, and we'd take off. Well, one day, Dad's like, "Hey, you ready? You want to go off?" I'm like, "Hell yeah," because I'm 15, got a learner's permit. Grab the keys to the Chevy. He's like, "Nah, get the keys to the hood. We gotta learn how to drive a stick." I'm like, okay. I had to intentionally screw up so Dad wouldn't catch on that I had been driving the cars around the neighborhood for the past 2 years. I just told him about that a few months ago, and he looked at me. He's like, "Are you shitting me?" I'm like, "Nope."
No. Oh yeah. No. It's always been one of those. And
You know, and like I said, as far as, you know, like being, you know, some people like brand loyal and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people think of me as a Ford guy and a Mustang guy because that's what I've been driving the last few years. Is all Fords.
Besides my Focus,
But
that,
like I
that's
said, but
my
still
only
Ford.
car that has not, since
Been a
my
Mustang.
very first car, has
Been a
not been a
Mustang.
Been a
Mustang.
Mustang.
But
So, you know, but my thing is, you
give
know,
me
I
a
mean,
Yugo, I'll be fucking happy. Like
but
you
I mean,
said.
I started out, I cut my teeth, you know, driving and wrenching shitbox 70s Japanese cars and 80s Japanese cars, and I still love those cars.
Right.
And so, like I said, I'm kind of all over the place. And styling-wise, I've got a huge thing for 50s post-war European sports
yeah.
cars.
Oof.
I love the way they look, and I love the way they sound. So I'm all over the road
And
when it comes to it.
The first motor I ever built myself was a 350.
Mine too.
But I love
Yeah,
the
my
import
first
shit. I
engine,
drive
my
an
first
import
engine
car.
overhaul was a Ford 3.8 liter V6.
2-3 Lima.
And I did love my Chevys there for a while. But also, I love everything though.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I really do.
So we want to go into. Hold on. We got some. Sorry.
The old
DD
brain.
speech up calling us a sausage party. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
Mike's
they're down,
here,
like,
What color are
so
you gonna paint the gasser?
Yeah. Someone's asking.
Alexandria Fernandez is asking.
Rustin Patina.
Sorry.
No,
You got a color in mind?
well, I'd like to learn to do more like into candies. Big boat flake. It's got to have boat flake.
Yes.
You know, that's just
Oh,
that's
Yes.
Bass
Green
boat,
60s
bass boat,
right there.
Fuck
bass boat
yes.
flake is totally appropriate for a
Yes.
gasser.
candy fades. I know it's going to be white with some blue fade. I mean, I know like in the middle of the car, like the body lines of the car, there's that section that
Yeah.
right
I'm
there.
picturing it right now.
Just I want to do a blue fade through there, blue candy fade through there. Just want to just boat flake the death out of it, and just panel it.
Yeah.
You know, that just reminded me, not for nothing, and I completely off topic, but my friend Reese, who's got the same car I do, he's got a
Yeah.
2010 Speed 3, he's got his done at the body shop. They did this fucking shit that I know it's been a thing for a long time. I've never seen it implemented though. They put black pigment in the clear. So it's the tri-coat pearl red that my car is, with a black tinted clear on it.
Oh wow!
And it looks so fucking... When the sun hits it, it's got like this weird black sheen that go... I don't know, it's like really, really neat.
Like an oil slick without the rainbow.
Yeah, it just looks really, really cool. And, you know, for like it reminded me too, the paint wise, I feel weird for saying this, but I think if I had any kind of like, I'd say 60s, 70s era car, and I did a full resto of any kind, I'd want to do the, and you can laugh at me as much as you want,
We laugh at you anyway.
I know, the Mary Kay fucking pink white pearl from Cadillac. They did in the newer cars on like an old Biscayne or an Impala. I think that would just look crispy. I don't know why. I just like it. I'm sorry, totally random, off topic thing.
I mean,
think-
you're
I think-
entitled to your wrong opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. I think what you're saying though, and I'm picturing it, that's gonna look amazing. That car is gonna be amazing when you're done.
Now, would you just put that bass boat flake color just right down through the center of the car? Would you also kind of tie up and do like the roof, but with an outline of the white around where you paint?
Yeah, pretty much. The roof will be paneled.
Yeah.
And the sail panel, I'll panel the sail panel on the trunk and on the hood, and then all the panels will be.
Yeah. Same here. So,
Right.
So before we get to the auction car, carry on. I'll be
Yeah.
back.
All right.
Sorry.
Got it?
Me and Brian had to pee really bad.
We don't just drink beer on camera.
See, I have always loved the boat flake. That like
I love the
hardcore
boat flake.
gloss boat flake. Just looks like somebody dumped glitter on it.
Well,
It looks great on the right application.
That's the thing I love
Because
about
I'm
the
a chopper
DSGs.
guy.
Right.
Like I love old school. Like I have found on TikTok recently that there is a whole group of people holding together like the old 70s
Wow, right on.
chopper bikes, like shovel head Harleys with these giant raked out frames and built to where they're not even like rideable really,
Yeah.
but they're raked out and crazy with ape hangers up here.
Yeah.
They're authentic.
They're authentic choppers.
Did
with-
you like the gooseneck frame?
Yeah, and there's guys that are really riding those bikes still, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm hunting around. I'm keeping an eye on the St. Louis Facebook Marketplace, and I go on there about once a week and I type in 72 shovelhead chopper. I'm waiting to see if it pops up.
Is that one your dad had?
If my dad's bike ever pops up, I will message the seller and I will tell him I will move heaven, earth, and hell. I will
Right.
figure out a way to buy this bike from you. Because my dad growing up, this is why I'm into bikes.
Is that the one picture you showed us?
I gotta see if I can find any real pictures of it.
Since I remember
72
you telling us about
shovelhead,
it.
completely custom. He completely pulled the frame apart. The frame was paint matched and everything. It was raked out, but it was old school shovelhead chopper.
Right.
Kickstart.
He had a kickstart, but he did have an electric start on it too.
Kick electric, yeah.
Because he got tired of kicking it and breaking his shit. But had that deep flake candy paint on it.
Mhm.
Loved that red color. I'm actually probably gonna paint my Sportster in that color.
I
theme.
love that blue though. That
That blue is so pretty.
So
but
pretty.
I want to tribute the bike.
I understand, but that blue's really nice.
I'm actually looking at. There's a company that does Sportster 48 tank covers
Okay.
where they snap over the tank
Ooh.
to do whatever color you want. And I'm gonna find a picture of Dad's Sportster or his shovelhead, and I'm gonna send it to him and have him do a custom one.
If you ever want to do a wrap, let me know. I know people that.
I don't want to do it in a wrap
Okay.
because a wrap on a tank is really hard to pull off
It really
I know.
is.
and get it straight and get it right.
Especially the tank on that.
Yeah, the tank on a 48 is really tiny and tight corners.
I know somebody that can do it. We'll talk
It's
later.
not the guy that did T-Pain's car, is it?
No.
No, I hope not. Speaking of choppers,
Hey, that one had a sidecar. It's me and
Is that what it had?
Yes,
I
it was
thought
me and
so.
Brian.
But who's,
I laugh,
wait,
but at
but
the same
who's in
time,
the sidecar?
I'm that guy.
Who's in the sidecar? Is it you or Brian?
Me. Brian's on that one. You kidding me? He's like, I can ride this and not fall over.
With Suicide Shift, he could.
I know.
I did see a guy a while ago. He was missing part of his arm, and he actually was able to make it to jockey shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which was
that's
pretty
cool.
cool. So you can still ride.
Neighbor right there where the light's on, and that he's actually missing both his legs, and he rides a regular bike. He has it to where his prosthetics are like attached to the bike, and he's able to like do everything, and it like comes up and all that, like it's some crazy stuff and all that. But
That's cool.
Are you talking about one of my people?
yeah, well, you just missed the whole bunch of Harleys.
Oh,
went
I
by.
heard him.
Yeah, one of them had a sidecar on it.
And we were saying that you would be driving and Mike
I
would
would have
be
a sidecar because I ain't touching the ground on one of those.
All right, so bring a trailer. Are you
Oh,
ready?
cars and bids.
It's cars and
Oh, it's
bids.
cars
this
and
time.
bids.
I didn't even look at bring a trailer.
That's
I'm just-
fine.
All right, well,
worries.
then this text isn't going to make sense then.
That's fine.
It's not the back car. It's the cars and bids car.
So here
is,
we
is
go.
Right.
Boom.
Cars and bids.
All right.
Doug DeMiro
We
coming
got
to you.
What I
Inspection
have,
sheet.
what I have for you tonight is a
Failure to
1997 Toyota Century V12 power dual EMB package, Japanese market flagship luxury sedan with a U.S. title. This is a Yakuza limo.
All
Yes,
right.
it
Well,
is.
well,
Is
Mike-
it black? Is it black?
It is black.
Yes!
With gray wool interior.
Well, Mike, I will let you look at that because I'm pretty sure I know a number at this point.
Yeah, you need to tell me that. No, I got a number already.
I'm pretty sure I know a number.
I already know a number.
So this is a Toyota Century. It has 112,100 miles on it. Has a 5-liter V12 rear-wheel drive, 4-speed automatic. It is obviously a sedan. Black-gray interior. Clear New Hampshire title.
It's a digital dash that gets you.
Yeah. Japanese spec, right-hand drive sedan that's titled in New Hampshire, imported from Japan, December 2022. Metric instrument cluster, and the odometer shows about 180,000 kilometers, which is approximately 112,000 miles. Dual electro multi-vision package, 16-inch wheels, Thames suspension, soft closed doors and trunks, heated front and rear seats, massaging and reclining rear seats. Modifications reported by the seller are limited to a Lexus steering wheel rim and a transmission shift knob. And a Japanese electronic toll collection box.
Oh, okay.
This is the
That's
G50.
basically like our SunPass type deal.
This is the G50 variant, so it's a second-generation model from 1997 to 2017. Aimed at wealthy yet restrained Japanese business types and Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
These stout Luxo barges were equipped with every bit of comfort and tech wizardry at Toyota's disposal and are commonly acknowledged by the motoring press as one of the finest built cars anywhere.
It also has a V12.
5-liter V12 rated at 276 horsepower and 340 foot-pounds of torque.
276 gentleman's agreement.
Yes, gentleman's agreement for Japan.
Yep.
But I mean, these things have things like so the front passenger seat has a fold-down pass-through so that the rear passenger
can put
their feet through it.
Yeah,
And-
it's meant for a limousine.
And
Deal.
and like I said, and
You
the
don't drive
one
up, you
the
ride.
When
one
you look at the center console for the back
Here's-
seats,
and that's the thing.
38
There's
switches.
buttons,
back
yeah.
there.
and that's the thing. That center console picture is not for the front. That's
for
the
the
rear.
back.
Right.
You,
Yeah.
you aren't meant to drive it. You're meant to
Ride
ride
in the back.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're meant to be driven around.
Yes.
What's
You
your
buy
price?
this car for your chauffeur to drive you somewhere in.
Yeah, surprisingly, like the actual, like all of the stuff and switches and
32.
dials that for the front is
32.
not as
Are you
much as
sure?
what you have in the back of the car.
No.
And so
No.
those, yeah, those cars they would come out with a new
Nice.
generation. They would run that generation for
25.
10 or 15 or without really changing them, other than emission standards and stuff like that.
26.5.
So
26.5.
I'm saying 28.
26,500.
You're saying 26.5?
26.5.
I hadn't said mine yet. I already know what
Going
mine
28.
is.
28? Go ahead.
I'm saying $1,000 per cylinder, baby. 12K.
13.5.
20 grand.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Chris wins.
Yeah. Price is right, girl.
20? Really?
20 grand.
Those are starting to get there, huh?
20 grand.
Yeah.
That was a sub 15K car for a long
God damn, we
time.
can hear you. Stop it.
Bravo!
Not gonna lie, I would have one for sub 15K. I would have one right
Dude,
now.
for the last year, even,
Hey,
you can
remember-
look up a sales for one. You can get it for 10K to 15K.
Well, the good news is in a year they'll be $10,000 cars.
Hey, remember the guy on YouTube that went and put the Formula One exhaust on it? And
Yes.
It sounded wonderful.
Sounded absolutely
He spent
insane.
10
That was
grand
a
on the exhaust on this car.
Huh?
And
It was a
but,
Mercedes.
Yeah, it was a Mercedes S600.
well, anyway.
Sorry.
It was a V12. It was a
It
V12.
was. It was.
But it
You're
sounded
correct.
No, but actually, no. There was a video that I saw in Japan of somebody that took a Century like that and had one of those
See,
custom
that's what
builders
I'm talking about.
do the same thing to it, and it sounded the same way. And this guy was driving his Century around, like passing Lambos and all the crazy supercars in Japan, and just literally rolling by and then revving it up, and everybody was like looking around trying to figure out where the
No,
noise
it
was
was a
coming
fucking
from.
Century going
Uh,
by. Anyway,
Alright, so I won that one for once. So
I'm glad.
on
Good for
that
you, Chris.
bombshell,
on that bombshell, we want to thank Mike from Old School Garage for coming on.
Thank you for having
And-
me.
Yes,
I mean-
again, truly enjoyable.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you
it
for
was,
coming.
and even though you weren't watching,
He was here.
yeah,
no,
I know,
guys,
I
to
know.
point something out to you,
We've
this
had
is
a lot
some
of
of
engagement.
the greatest
And-
engagement we've had.
And I think that's also a big thanks to Mike
Oh,
for
yes.
sharing it with everybody.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
So,
No problem.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And
Yep.
should we have Mike back on?
Oh,
Because I think
absolutely.
we probably should.
Absolutely.
We're
But
definitely going to have you back on, and we may
Or maybe
have
a
to
field
come over
trip.
to your shop.
Oh,
at
Let's
some
do a
point.
field trip.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Come on
definitely one, like, that's no ifs, ands, or buts. We are going to check out this car.
Yes.
So.
Have a good night, guys.